many things more frustrating than getting ready to do a job and your equipment won't work. And especially as a woman, you know, we don't always know how to fix things or get things to run when they don't want to cooperate. Like this little push mower here. I need to do some trimming around the house. I've done most of the riding, mowing, and you know, if you're like me, my husband works long hours, and when he comes home I want to spend some time with him. I don't want him to have to be out and do everything in the yard, and I enjoy lawn mowing and doing stuff outdoors. And you know, I think it's really important that as ladies we understand how to do some basic things with equipment so that we're not so dependent. Case in point, just yesterday I had an occasion to rescue a friend of mine, 40 years old, and she had no clue how to put air in her tire. She was stranded at the gas station, and just so happened when she called me I was right across the street, so I could come over and help her and show her how to put air in her tire. And you know, that ought not be, you know, and she acknowledged it, and you know who you are, I won't say your name. She gave me permission to use the example in the video. But at any rate, I think it's very important that as women we know how to do some basic things. And so today what I would like to show you how to do is just minimal, basic maintenance on a push mower, and a few tricks that may help you to get it running if it's stubborn and doesn't want to start. We don't have the manpower that a man does to pull on the cord and put as much force on the engine to get it to turn over. And so it's important that it's working properly for us so that, you know, we can get it started. So we'll go over a few things today, and thumbs up if you appreciate this, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below, because I really think it's important. I grew up not in the kitchen, as you know, I've done a few kitchen videos lately, but I actually am more comfortable out here because I grew up on a farm and helping my dad do stuff. I don't profess to be a mechanic, and a mechanic watching this may find that there's a better way or other things that can do, and that's fine. Leave some nice comments in the comment section below. We're trying. We want to understand as women how we can help our husbands, or maybe you don't have a husband, maybe you're single and you need to know how to do these things. And so if that's the case, this video is for you. Years ago, if a woman didn't know how to hitch up a horse to the wagon or ride a horse, she was stranded. And so in today's vernacular that might mean know how to change your oil, know how to do basic maintenance, know how to change a tire, put air in a tire, these kind of things. And I would like to show you how to do some of those things from a woman's perspective. And so again, if you would like to see videos like that, thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know. Let's see if we can get this thing running. Again, I don't profess to know everything about engines, but I know a little bit, and I'd like to share with you what I do know. I know that 9 times out of 10, the problem with these little mowers, especially at the beginning of the season, is stale fuel. So you want to make sure that you have fresh fuel in the gas tank. This is the gas tank. This is the primer bulb. Usually you push this anywhere from 3 to 5 times. That puts some fuel into the carburetor, which is under here, and that is what helps the spark plug, which is here, to fire. That provides the fuel for the spark plug to actually ignite the spark and start the engine. This is the air cleaner. I'm going to show you how to take this off, clean out the air cleaner, check the oil, check the gas, and then I want to show you too how to pull the spark plug out and tell, number one, if it's even getting fire. If it's a bad plug, maybe you need to replace the spark plug. And 2, maybe it's just got a little carbon buildup on it, and you can clean that off and it'd work just like new. So let's get started. First thing is always check the fuel, make sure you've got fuel. If it's, again, the beginning of the season and you think the fuel might be stale, just dump it out and put fresh fuel in. A lot of times that'll fix the problem. We've got good fuel. I'm not going to prime it right now because what I want to show you how to do next is just pull the air breather, air filter off here. and just make sure it's not plugged up. Okay, really the only tool you'll need to pull this off is just a standard screwdriver like this end here. By the way, ladies, which of you knows what this tool is for? Thumbs up if you'd like a video showing you what this is for and what it's all about. Okay, let's pull this thing off. This is a really long screw. So we'll pull this off and see what's inside for us. Sometimes it gets clogged up with debris, dust, and grass and stuff, and it's not clean. It's like us, it can't breathe. The engine has to be able to breathe in order to run properly. So I just pull the screw out. Usually I set it on the housing of the lawnmower here so that I know where it's at and it's safe. This pulls apart into two pieces like that. Okay, set this down, and this sponge here pulls out, and this one actually is not too bad. I cleaned this not too long ago, so we're pretty good on that. The way that I clean these, you can use soapy water. Some people clean them in gas. It's probably healthier for you to clean it with soapy water as opposed to gasoline. If you do use gasoline, which a lot of mechanics that I knew growing up did, just be sure to wear gloves, because that's not good for you to absorb that into your skin. Once you clean it, it needs to be thoroughly dried, and then you put a little bit of oil on the filter and squeeze it through, and that helps the filter, the sponge here, to catch debris better. I just cleaned this not too long ago, so it's not too bad. So I'm just going to put it back together, put it back on the lawnmower, and we'll move to the spark plug. It snaps back together. Put the screw in. Make sure that you get it on the correct way. Your lawnmower may be different. Just pay attention as to how it comes off. Be sure whenever you're putting this back on, and even while it's off, don't get any debris into your carburetor. That's a bad thing. Make sure you get it seated correctly and tighten the screw back up, and you're good to go. Okay, we're going to look at the spark plug now, see if that's the problem. If you're not familiar with the tools that I have here, let me just take a minute. This is a ratchet. It's called a ratchet because it ratchets back and forth. You can change the directions that it goes with this little switch. And this particular version has a button on the back that will cause the socket to release or to attach. I really like this kind. Whenever you're dealing with most bolts and nuts, the rule is righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. So turning a nut or bolt to the left will loosen it, to the right will tighten it. There are some exceptions to that, and I'll show you one before the video is over. So I want to turn it to loosen it, so that's this way. Turning to the left. It's a little bit tight. If you just bump it with your hand, that'll help give you a little more torque on it. So pull this plug out and look at it and see. Yeah, there's a little carbon on this. Black stuff on the end of the spark plug there. I'm going to take a brush and bump that off real well. Okay, I can't find my bigger wire brush. We just moved recently and a lot of our stuff is still in boxes, so it's somewhere. But this particular kind of brush is for cleaning battery terminals, and it does have a little wire brush. It's well used. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that to just brush off the end of this. You want to be careful not to press too hard on this, because if you change the distance in here, there's a little space between this little lip that's, I don't know what you call it. Anyway, I'm not a mechanic, but I do know a few things. Anyway, if you change the distance between this little bar that's sticking out and the little nipple that's underneath it, that's called the gap. and if you change that and mess that up, then it won't fire properly. So I'm just going to gently brush that, see if I can get some of the dirt, debris, and carbon buildup off of here. See if we can't get it to fire a little bit better. Now there is a way that you can check to see if this is getting fire. This little thing here, this tip of the spark plug fits up in here. There's a metal piece up in there, and you want to make sure that it snaps into that metal piece. If you put it there and let the spark plug rest against the metal part of the engine, and then pull the cord, you can see if there's fire. It's kind of hard for one person to do. I'm just letting you know that's another way you can test it. But for us ladies, pretty much if you just clean it off, and if you don't have a wire brush like this, you can use a pocket knife, or this is a crummy old kitchen knife. Be careful, you're not scraping hard, you're just very gently moving back and forth trying to get the carbon off and clean it off a little bit. I'm actually trying to talk my husband into doing a video of how to take the serrated edge off of this thing and sharpen it. I think he's going to do it. Anyway, another thing you can do, and I've never tried this, I've always had some kind of wire brush available, is to take an emery board, you know, like you file your fingernails with, and clean it off a little with that. But I have found that a pocket knife works fairly well if you don't have a wire brush like that. Another thing that I have done, let me just grab this. Hang on, excuse me a minute. I know everybody's seen this stuff. A little bit of WD-40 sprayed on the end of the spark plug can help not only to clean it off, but it can help to give it a little bit of fuel in the firing chamber there whenever you get ready to pull it. So just hold it away from you and just squirt a little bit on there, and helps clean it, and it also, like I said, will give you a little juice in there. So I'm going to put it back in, put the wire back on, prime it up, and let's see if it'll fire up. Righty tighty. Whenever you get ready to put it back in, you just switch this little thing on the ratchet the other way, and then it'll go the other way. Okay? It doesn't have to be super tight. You don't have to be Godzilla to get this thing on here. And then just clip it, and again you want to hear it snap. So that's on there. Okay. We have the primer bulb here. I'm going to prime that a few times, but before we do, I want to always check the oil before I get started. And I have a rag, and you know, just kind of, it's a pink rag too, girls. One thing that I always like to do whenever I do work on something, I change the oil in our vehicle or on the lawnmower or something, I always like to clean my tools well, just wipe them down with a clean cloth. So there's nothing worse than being in a hurry and you don't want to get dirty and you grab a wrench and it's all greasy and icky. Maybe that's just the girl in me, I don't know. But anyway, you always want to pull out the dipstick, and all mowers are not the same, but this one is like this, and it's sitting right on the full mark right there, so we're good to go with the oil. Just be sure to check that just to make sure. Some people pull it out, wipe it off, screw it in, and then pull it out and check it, and that's okay too. Still right on the full mark. We're good to go on the oil. Okay, so let's push the prime button. We have some fuel coming out on the back here, so we may have a bigger problem than what we can work at right now, but we'll see what happens. Hearing protection. you can do that too. I want to show you something else too. Hang on. Let's say you're mowing and you recognize that it's just not mowing right. Maybe your blade needs to be sharpened. There's something I want to show you about taking the blade off of this lawnmower. Remember I showed you earlier that lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Well, here's the exception. Anytime you need to take a blade off of these lawnmowers, the nuts are lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. So if you ever find the need to take the blade off of one of these mowers like this, remember that. And also another tip, if you have to take the blade off, I've seen people tilt it up like this and put something heavy on the handle to hold it up. Don't do that. That's not safe. Tilt it over on its side, but always tilt it on the opposite side of the carburetor. So with this one, the carburetor is on this side, so I would tilt it that way and just lay it right up over on its side. Okay? I'm not going to take the blade off on this. It's good. If you'd like to see how to do that, let me know. We can do more mower maintenance in the future.